Hi there, you're watching the Gardens and Graveyards channel. Today we are in our backyard and we're going to transplant a rhubarb, but it's part of a much bigger project. This is where we're going to build our greenhouse this summer. It's right behind us in that fenced gated area is where we have some raised beds. Something really loud driving by. School bus. We have some raised beds back there, and most of them are going to be dismantled, and they're going to be remantled.
Remantled?
They're going to be moved over to where we have this rhubarb in the ground right there. So we're going to take that rhubarb out and move it. I haven't decided 100% where it's going, so it's going to end up in a pot until further notice. Maybe forever. If it likes it there, it'll be fine. So here in the front of this garden space that we have fenced off because our dogs will not stay out of the beds. I have in ground, I have this rhubarb, and we're going to take care of that today. But I also have some Shasta daisies here that we're going to, Spencer is going to take his bird food down right now. Okay.
Sorry.
So I have these Shasta daisies right here that we're going to dig out, and I'm just going to actually plant them along the front of the fence line here. And then I have some columbine in the ground. I think I have 3 pieces in the ground over here that we'll dig up and put in the front yard with the other columbine, or possibly over there in the hellebore bed. I haven't decided on that. For today, we're just going to get the rhubarb out of the ground. Outside of what's in the ground right here, everything else is in pots and containers, and they can just get moved around. Yeah. Except for the main area. The bed that's behind these bags is a 4x8.
Mm-hmm.
And the greenhouse that we're purchasing is a 6x8. So essentially, the greenhouse is going to go right on top of where that bed is. And that bed's going to get moved, turned, and put along this front part. But it is filled with spring flowering bulbs. So hopefully we'll get to have a great spring show and then dig out the bulbs and take care of that section of the garden. But we're excited to get started, so we're doing what we can for now. And this guy is already starting to grow, so I need to get it out of the ground and into its spring home ASAP. What we're going to do is we're going to put compost on the third of that gray container and the soil, raised bed soil and soil conditioner, 1/3 of that container, and then we're going to put the rhubarb in, and then we're going to cover the rest of it with composted manure because rhubarb loves manure. So let's do it. All right, so we have this container, which is a 20 by 20. It's a 20 by 20. So, which is the recommended size for the rhubarb. Perfect. The first thing I'm going to do is put compost on the bottom, so that when the roots get down to the bottom, it has some nutrition. This is G&B Organics. I like them. I like their soil that they make too.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, so then this is the raised bed soil and soil conditioner. It's the most economical bagged soil in our area, so we do end up using it often. Isn't anything in it? Some new bag. Okay. Oh. Now we're gonna dig this guy up. It actually looks like there's 3 or 4 plants there.
I'm sorry. It gets huge.
Rhubarb is one of the most ancient Chinese herbs in existence, dating back to 2800 BC, according to Chinese herbalists. It is typically used in sweet treats like strawberry rhubarb pie and rhubarb tarts these days, but before the 1600s, people used rhubarb for medicine, and it is well known for anti-inflammatory. It's good for cholesterol and high blood pressure. It helps with brain health and aids in digestion. The root and stems are used for medicine, but be aware that there are 23 cultivars of rhubarb, not to mention all the new varieties that are coming out in, vegetable studies nowadays, as well as the fact that rhubarb is very high in a specific toxin that causes really bad stomach aches, and in huge amounts, I'm talking like 10 pounds, can even kill a person. So do your research and make sure that you cook your rhubarb before you eat it. But it is a delicious addition to the pantry, and I highly recommend it. This particular one has red stems. Some of them have white, some of them have green. Some of them are even more deeply crimson than the one that I have here. Some have brighter leaves and darker leaves. It just depends on the different cultivars, of course. And rhubarb can be found in every continent in the world, which I think is fascinating. See, there's 2 or 3 right there. 2, 3. Maybe even 4 that you could break apart and plant separately. This guy.
Girl. Jeez.
There's...
So it was clearly happy where it was.
I know.
Look at those gorgeous red stalks. It's awesome.
Well, it's already so big.
Do you want to...
Alright. To decide what I'm doing. Like these giant broken pieces. We're gonna leave these guys in this pot, and then
back there.
Temporarily put the big one in there.
Yeah.
And maybe get a small one for. I could give a couple of these away.
That's what I'm going to do.
So, does it make sense to put the smaller one in this pot to get started?
It does.
Alright, so I'm just setting this smaller clump with actually 2, maybe 3 eyes. It's got 3 eyes on it. In here. And then we'll fill the rest of this pot up with compost. Or with manure. manure.
Look in here. Same thing, compost soil.
Yeah. Don't need that much on the bottom of this one.
Yeah.
Be easier to put it up here. That's good right there. Even if you chose not to grow rhubarb for medicine or food, it is an absolutely gorgeous plant that gets about 2 to 3 feet tall by 2 to 3 feet wide, and it can grow in part shade to full sun, and it's just absolutely beautiful. All right. Let's keep repeating this pattern until we run out of product or run out of rhubarb, one of the two.
Huge. Hers. Hers.
I wonder if we should. That came off easy enough. Put that somewhere else.
It's crazy. You want some sugar? Yeah. It's not.
Too much soil in our way.
Disjointed. That's very disjointed.
I don't know what to do with this. It's too high.
Yeah. No idea anything it was.
Huh?
I had no idea anything it was as big as it was.
Okay. Look at this thing. Well. Huh. Okay, so I was not expecting that rhubarb to actually have 7 plants because when I planted it, has it been 5 years? It's been at least 4 years, if not 5. When we moved into this property, it was in that back corner by the door over there, and we had no idea. It was just under a bunch of weeds and the butterfly bush and the crocosmia was taking over that corner, and I was cleaning it out and I saw those leaves and I was like, I know exactly what that is. But I knew I wasn't getting enough sun over there, so we moved it up here. And it was really struggling, and I was like, well, it's, a free rhubarb. We'll just see what happens. And it's done beautifully the last 2 years for sure. And the last 2 years we've put manure on it, and I learned that tip from a master gardener. She said, throw a bag of manure on those things and they'll go gangbusters. And she was right tenfold. Because now I have a whole bunch of them. So for sure we'll keep at least 2 in the gray box, even though I put 3. And then there's a big, huge root ball with 2 or 3 in that larger round container. And there's 2 in that small container. And I'll probably give half of those away. And I think I'll plant 1 in my medicine garden just because they're a beautiful plant and they are medicine. So you could see how beautiful their red stems are. They're just absolutely gorgeous plants. So anyway, fun. Was a little more intense than I was expecting, but it was a pleasant surprise, and I'm kind of excited that I get to give some plants away too. So anyway, that is it for today's video. Just getting that rhubarb out of the ground and starting to prepare for our greenhouse project. I hope that it inspired you to get out in your garden and move a plant if it's not working out for you. And you could always give it away or put it somewhere else. Until the next time, keep celebrating your life, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.